Welcome to Sacred Heart Strings Online. Today we're going to be in your book, All for Strings, page 26, number 75, Concert Song. Now there's a lot going on in concert song, so we'll want to take it apart a little bit at a time and make sure that we pay attention to all the special markings that are here and all the additional information that the composer has given us. So to get started, I want to take a look first at the fact that there are two lines to read here. So we will practice almost like a duet. We'll practice first the solo line, and then we'll practice the ensemble line. The ensemble would mean a group of people playing together, where the solo would mean one person playing together. Now, the likelihood is, if we played this as a concert song, we probably would not have one solo player. We might have several people playing the solo part, but then the rest of the group could play the ensemble. So we're going to practice both parts, so you get practice at both. The next thing that I want to show you or point out is the bow markings. You'll notice in between the two lines they have marked WB for whole bow, UH for upper half, and what else? Oh, in measure 3, LH for lower half, right. So you want to make sure that you're using the whole bow when that's marked, the upper half of your bow when that's marked, and the lower half when that's marked. Also in this piece we have something brand new. It's noted at the top of the page, so I'd like everybody to take a look at that now. It is called Dies al fine. DS is an abbreviation for Italian for dal segno, which means sign, the sign. And so when you see dal segno, that means the sign, that funny shape that looks sort of like a sideways S turned into a percent sign, kind of. So that sign is going to tell us where to repeat back to. Now in the past, when we had a repeat sign, those two vertical lines with the dots, that told us we were to go all the way back to the beginning. Now we're going to learn Dies al fine, dal segno al fine, which is a different type of repeat. In number 75, we'll start at the beginning, we will play all the way to the end, and then we see that special marking, Dies al fine. When we see Dies al fine, that's telling us to go back to the signe, signo, the sign. Go back to the sign, DS, go back to the sign. So you look in measure 9 for the sign, and then play to the fine, the end, which in this piece is measure number 16. You'll also notice that all of our measures are being numbered in this piece. That makes it much easier for us to move around in the music, practice just a certain part at a time. So if we were together playing, we might just stop and work on a tricky part, and I could let you know, let's start at measure 9, and we'd all know right where to go without having to count the measures. So that's a really nice extra treat that they've given us here, is not having to number our own measures. They're already numbered. So this first time through, in addition to paying attention to things like the sign, repeating back to the sign, we're also going to play it nice and slowly, because for most people this will be the very first time you've looked at this piece. When we're sight reading, learning something for the very first time, we want to look at two things right at the beginning of the music. The key signature, and in this case we see 2 sharps, and when there are 2, they're always the same 2. They're always in the same order, and if we remember, fat cats get dizzy after eating bats, we know that if there are 2, it will be F sharp for fat and C sharp for cats. So 2 sharps here, we can see those. We don't even have to look at which line that they're on. We automatically know F sharp and C sharp for fat cats. So that is our key signature. Then we're looking at our time signature. This is 4/4 time. Sometimes we call that common time. The 4 on top means that there are 4 beats in each measure, and the 4 on the bottom means a quarter note gets 1 count. So we're going to start number 75. We're going to play through the solo part, and I think on this recording we'll just stick with the solo part. all the way from the beginning to the end. Then we will go back to measure 9, where we see the sign, and then finish up in measure 16. You might want to just follow along with your music the first time, and then start this video and play through it together the next time. Nice and slowly this time. Now we start on a D on our A string, so let's take a minute to get that D tuned up. We remember that the D on the A string is exactly an octave apart from the open D. So we can use that D, the open D, to tune our other D, our third finger D if we're violin or viola. Now if it's not quite there, just move your finger until you hear that match of the octave. Another way that you can do it to check is you can start with your open string and play a little part of the scale to get to that D where we're going to get started. Then you might want to check to make sure you've got the octave. Now that we've got the D, we're going to get started with number 75. Nice and slowly because we're sight reading. 1, 2, ready, go. That brings us to the end of the solo part for number 75 concert song. If you can't make it all the way through the first time, don't worry about it. Just work on little parts. Maybe you don't even want to work on playing along with the recording at first. Maybe you want to set the recording aside and maybe just practice some little parts. Maybe just start with circle 9 and just play that middle system from 9 to the end, from 9 to 16. Maybe you just want to practice that the first day. Maybe you just want to practice 9 through 12 the first day. And start out nice and slowly, and then gradually, as you feel more confident reading the music, a little bit faster and a little bit faster. Now I did send 2 apps, the links to 2 apps. If you have not downloaded those and you have access to a smartphone or can borrow a smartphone so that you can download those apps, do be practicing the note reading, because being able to read those notes faster will make it easier for you to play faster. You won't have to memorize every piece. You'll actually be reading the notes quickly that first time. So the more you can practice the app, the faster you're going to be reading music. Be patient with yourself. This is a very long piece. It is 4 lines, almost a full page if it were written out. So just really be patient with yourself. Work on little bits at a time, and before you know it, you will be playing the concert song. Thanks for joining us.